Bermuda, Bahama, come on, bird. What are we doing? You know how hard it is to cheers and look at a camera? Do you want to try that?
You know what I find refreshing, Felix?
Watches.
The end of the year and no longer talking about watches for 2 weeks when it's cricket and everything else.
Right.
But before we get to there,
There's more watches?
we've got $2,000 to $5,000 to deal with, starting with, bang,
Oris. Specifically the Oris Big Crown ProPilot World Timer.
This one just bombed out of nowhere in the middle of the year.
Yeah, and it's a great watch. I mean, so the Big Crown ProPilot has been around for a while, but this is a GMT version, which is, yeah, sure, right? It's GMT, cool, 2 time zones. The really cool thing about it, though, is that you change the second time zone just by flicking the bezel.
And you made a little GIF. That's so cool.
Yeah, technology. So you just flick the bezel and it jumps forward an hour. You flick the bezel, it goes back the other hour. Like, if you're an actual frequent flyer, it's really, really useful.
Yeah.
You don't have to stuff around with crowns and all that sort of stuff. And RRP on textile strap, just at the top end, $5,000.
Yeah, really good value. As is the watch that's on the list and on my wrist.
Oh, wow.
The Avigation Bigeye. Look, putting this in a list is a bit of a no-brainer.
Who makes that watch?
It was Longines, come on guys, or
Everyone knows it.
Longines.
Yep.
Look, it was a GPHG winner for Best Revival Watch of the Year, and I think, again, why, it's just obvious. It's really faithful to the original. It's got such a cool story. Can I quickly tell it? Have we got enough time? So Walter von Candel told me the story that they didn't actually have this watch in the museum.
That's cool.
So it wasn't a case of combing through to find what could be the next winner. It was actually a collector that said, hey, this would be such a great watch to revive. They did. It won the prize. It won my heart. I actually love this watch, and I love the way they presented it on a strap that's really faithful to the time as well. $3,400 Australian.
Yeah, nice.
Sold.
So next up we have one of my favourite brands, Nomos. We've got their Club Campus, which is the club's been around for years. It's their sort of entry-level, entry into the Nomos family. And this Campus one, it's a bit simpler. It's got solid case backs. They've freshened up the dials, but it's sort of been conceived as, someone's graduating, someone's having a, big birthday, something. You want to get into mechanical watches. This is the way to do it. It costs around
Give me the price.
about $2K, I think, ballpark. But it's still, you get an in-house movement, you get really top-notch watchmaking.
I was about to say, you can join the Nomos club for that much. Look, the Supermarine by Bremont, again, real sleeper hit for me, out of nowhere. Everything about this watch, the minute I put it on, it was one of those, occasionally in our job, you get this feeling, don't you? You're tired, you've got a typical work day, you get presented a watch, you put it on, you feel something. I did for this watch, and it's about the finishing, it's about the anti-reflective coating on the glass, it's about the matte bezel, it's about the red line of text on the dial. I could go on, it's about the tropical dial. So many details in this watch. I just thought immediately, this is one of those watches that does it all.
What have we got? Oh yeah, Rado. Yeah. No, how can we forget? So at Basel, we go to Rado and we expect, sort of high-tech ceramic, fancy, really design stuff. So we saw this little vintage reissue, the Rado Hyperchrome Captain Cook.
Mossy starburst dial.
That's like a one-for-one reproduction of a 60s model, and it's called the Captain Cook. So
Aussie.
So it's a no-brainer for us. I mean, it's if you want like an old-school vintage watch with a ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal, and a modern movement,
done.
This is your guy.
Ticked.
Only problem is you won't really be able to get them anymore because the limited edition will be long gone.
Yeah.
So, sucks to be you.
Done. And on that note, I feel like we're going to move up price points at some point.
I think we will. I think we should start talking about more expensive watches.
5 to 10? Let's go there.
Let's do it.
Okay, see you there.
See ya.